He served as an associate professor at St. Thomas College, Corancherry. He is also a visiting associate of the Inter-University Center for Astronomy and Astrophysics, Pune, for over 2 decades. Being a deep learning specialist, he has various publications and collaboration with institutes like California Institute of Technology, Arizona State University, Rochester University, Cardiff University, African Institute of Mathematical Science, etc. He is currently the Director and Dean at Artificial Intelligence Research and Intelligence Systems, MARIS 4D. So he has a rich experience, and I think he is one among the right persons who has the skill, ability, and erudition to explain about the skills of the century, skills of the future. So if you read various reports, there is a kind of sea change is going to happen in the field of education in the industry. Also, if you look at the education sector, a lot of changes are happening in daily basis. So many job roles, many skills which are existing today will not be existing in the immediate future. So the college is also in this direction. The AVE STELLA MARIS College is also offering certification program in artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, machine learning, coding, digital marketing, supply chain management, data scientists, business analytics, in order to make sure that students are ready to equip with the challenges in the coming future. So they will be resilient as well as they will be more efficient in their job as well as their personal roles. So it is my pleasure and privilege to welcome Dr. Nainan Sajid Philip. And we also have a great personality with us today, Reverend Dr. Abraham Bulamutil. He is the Principal Advisor of AVE STELLA MARIS College. He has been associating with this college and guided us as a visionary. He is the founder and founder, principal, and chairman of the MacFirst College, Tiruvalla. He was also the chief executive at Pushpagiri Military College. He is also an expert advisor and visionary. He's an author. I don't have any words to express about his experience and vast vision. He is a close collaborate with us for many years. I have a close interaction as well as having a kind of dynamic interactions with Dr. Abraham Bulamutil. So now I welcome Reverend Dr. Abraham Bulamutil to have a welcome address and to give an idea about how this seminar is relevant in this century and how this seminar is useful for the people of this time. So on behalf of AVE STELLA MARIS College, Ramagalam, I heartily welcome Reverend Dr. Abraham Bulamutil to say some words about the seminar and the resource person of this day. Thank you very much once again, Dr. Nainan Sajid Philip sir and Dr. Abraham Bulamutil. So Achin, please come and give some words for these participants. Thank you.
Hello, thank you all. Very good morning, Sajid sir. All the members in this meeting. For me, it is a very interesting day, and it's a pleasure to see you all in this program. I knew that the subject is very relevant. At the same time, what is happening to our society future, that means very, in a way, we can say it's very grim, in the sense that because of COVID, pandemic problems, and now people are not ready to take up any initiative like a job or a job for training or anything, because the problem is facing them, most of the people, is that where to find a solution. At the same time, there is a positive thing, is that the new system or new COVID situation can bring new possibilities, because the possibilities are coming sometimes with a break. So the break is already happened, because and it is going to be vivid to all the people. Especially I want to say that the skills are very important. So how you can identify the skill? There are people think that what is the skill which I should need? The government, for example, the National Education Policy 2020, and recently in our Kerala government also saying that we need to improve skills. So today's subject is future of skills, or skills, the future of skills, or skills for the future generations. So these are very, very complicated things, and at the same time, it is very difficult to which will be the future. And exponential growth in possibilities, exponential change also is happening. So Moore's law will say that hundreds of years, I mean, when we started our first computer, or now I know that in 91, when I started on a laptop, it was 286. Now we know that at the time I spent about 60,000 rupees that was in Belgium. It was the last piece of the 286. And now you know that what is the growth in the semiconductors, as well as the power also. The power has changed. So the mobile have more powerful than the desktops. You know, this kind of things are coming, and it's very fast. So exponential change is happening in the world. Exponential thinking is happening in the minds, and exponential way of life is people are facing. So people are very we don't know what they have to say about that, and what are the skills they have to acquire. For our education system, we were speaking about we know for about 400 or 600 years, we were speaking about universities, we are speaking about classrooms, we are speaking about so many things connected to the education. Now the education is nothing, it is more than that information sharing. The teacher, who is a teacher, very different. And now the thinking is already changed because of the exponential change is happening. Now today's subject is very, very vivid, and I think it is not exhaustive. We'll say that in the sense that we are going to say everything today itself. No, it is starting only. Or we will say that it is only thinking only. That means there is a confusion in the society, especially for the students as well as for the parents. So where our student, my child, should be sent for education? So sometimes people think that my student should be sent to one of the best institute. So what is that best? And what is meant by best? Best teacher, what is meant by? So the meanings are changing, and what are updations? So it's also changing. I just give an introduction to what Sajid and Flipstar is saying, because he is a man, I'll say that a man for the future. That is what we have to say. That is one of the biggest problem, and we are very close in that science, because we both think about what is going to happen to the future. That's at the same time. So when you say that I am going to do something for the future, that is also uncertainty. We don't know what is going to be the future, but we have some kind of congestion, or so we will say that this will be the future. We'll say that we will say that there is some certainty in our mind that it can be that. So that is what is happening. Is a proponent of artificial intelligence, because he started his career. So for probably he's the first fellow who did his PhD in artificial intelligence in CUSAT, in Science and Technology University. So at that time, probably he was in the physics department, and he's still in the physics. But now I'm reading on that line of saying that now the time is quantum physics and quantum mechanics. So no, for example, I'm writing a book also. So then I say that what is happening to the physics, the classical physics has already, we'll say that we are working in that line because we know only that. But the quantum physics and the quantum thinking and everything is entirely different. And even the computers are coming and are already there. That means quantum computers are coming. And that they are going to make it very small, if probably in the mobile, I don't know, probably Sajid Sir can speak about that. So this will be the future. So the whole thinking is going to be changed from our computer field itself. It's changing. So then certainty and uncertainty is always there. So that is also a part of the physical world or physics. Uncertainty and uncertainty at the same time. That is a very, very strange, we cannot even, we don't understand at that time. Even Einstein was also confused, and he was saying also same thing. But at the same, they can understand, and they were speaking about all these things. I think what is happening to our students, because or the future of our students or the society or India, or in a line, we'd say that what will be the situations happening in the world. So the skills, future skills and possibilities is today's main subject. And I think Sajid Nayanan Sir is an expert in that line. At the same time, I am not saying that I'm not bluffing him, saying that he is an expert, but he is a researcher. I'll say that that is what I want to say, that he's a researcher in that area, and he is an expert in thinking in life. That is all. We are not saying that everything is with him. No, I'm saying that he is a very realistic man, realistically approaching the realities of the world. So I am very happy that he is with us, and he will share the thinking. At the same time, when the discussions, we will have more discussions together, and we will see what is happening, especially for the young generation and new students, as well as for the faculty members, because they have to also be part of this kind of thinking. So I wish Nayanan Sajid Philip sir for your erudite presentations and thinking. So wish you all the best, all the members and principal and all the members. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abraham Alamutil. As Dr. Abraham mentioned, we are looking for exponential growth. Rather than arithmetic progression, we all need to have a geometric progression in order to survive and sustain in this future. So there is no questioning the fact that we have an eminent personality, a practitioner and researcher in the field of artificial intelligence and machine learning. He has touched many areas, so I am not extending my words, as we are awaiting and waiting to listen to the words of Dr. Nayanan Sajid Philip.
So let us start without going into any introduction. I believe that most of the participants are students, so I'll gear my talk for the students in consideration. And every now and then I get a phone call from parents asking me what career should they recommend for the kids, or whether that I recommend for the kids. And to be honest, it's a very difficult question to answer when you know nothing about the kid other than what the parents aspire for them or assure for them. So the first answer I usually give, that often impresses the parents also, is that they should ask their kids, the children, what they like to do. Well, I'm serious in this. Often choices are made for kids rather than getting their opinion or giving them the opportunity to explore their skills. It's a great mistake, I think, which should be corrected. And that is the key idea I want to share when we have this meeting. Career guidance is perhaps the most misused or misinterpreted topic in our society. Kids are often put to courses from childhood before they realize even anything about the choices they have before them. Most of the time, the over-ambitious parents are the culprits. And to fuel to that, we have an even growing wider circle of career builders with exciting stories and advertisements all around. Parents invest almost all their wealth, and the children spoil all their childhood working on things they never loved to do, and and they appear repeatedly for entrance exams courses, which only adds to the disappointment and frustration in life. This is a great mistake which we should not cater in our community. And if you look at what these people offer, all of them have to offer the same thing. They'll tell you work hard now and you will relax later. A very false promise of the first grade. You work from, even nowadays, students go for this entrance coaching from, I think, even before they come to high school, they are sent to those training courses. And after 12, they go for MBBS or engineering. And when you are there, you realize that MBBS is nothing. You need a PG at least, an MD degree at least to be settled. That's a basic degree. And what happens? You are out of your childhood, your youthhood, before you settle on a comfortable seat. Same thing about engineering. Nowadays, it is all about big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence. You hear a lot of these topics. And people are really confused. And when you actually go and do it, for example, if you ask the research students who are working with me here, they will say, it's very difficult. It is not that easy as you think. It's very difficult to conceptualize things. It is very difficult to make results. And it happens that you feel that you have been running after a mirage after so many decades of spending. This should not happen. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is that don't spoil your present with heavy burden on your shoulders. You live only in this present and live it happily. If you can't enjoy what you do, discard it at the first place. That is not your kind of work. On the other hand, do not hesitate to venture into something that people do not recommend or promote, if you are sure that it will make you smile. It is your life and the choice should be yours. Whatever choice you make now is what you have to carry to the rest of your life. So make a choice that you would love to carry all through your life. You won't need to go into vacation if your vocation itself makes you happy. I hope I am clear. But there is a problem. How will I know what is good for me? How will I explore my talent? This is a great challenge. And I would say that during your tenure of 15 or 16 or 25 years of education, you should try out all the options. You should look what options suits to you best, and then be prepared to switch from one to another. This is very important. And I do not want to be mistaken. You may wonder whether I am promoting something that that can be considered as an easy go. No, absolutely not. There is no substitute for hard work. But hard work alone won't make life, alone won't make you happy. Happiness comes from doing what you do. And if you can do what you love to do, then you will be happy doing what. I work for 18 to 19 hours a day. I am not paid for it. I get my pension even if I sleep all day. Then why? I do it because I love the work I do. I love to know more about and understand more about life, about this planet, and everything that is around us. That gives me happiness. The take-home message I have for you is that you should try to make your passion your profession. Make your passion your profession, rather than choosing a profession thinking that eventually you will be unable to earn your passion. No, that won't happen at all. Okay, with that introduction, let us move on to the topic of our talk. I'll be addressing a few topics here as has been described in the brief, this leaflet that was given to you. This is going to be a technology talk, but I do not want to talk technology to people who are not trained in technology. So what I'll do is that I'll reorient my talk in such a way that it is for non-technology experts. So I'll focus on the products rather than the technology that is going to help. Well, that's my selling point here. And like any good seller, I'll always say that this is the best option or the most promising option you can ever get. Be wise. Don't take me for that. Granted for that. Leave this meeting or chat if you find that this is not the choice for your lifestyle, and that this is not the cup of tea that you are going to have. Okay. Now these are the topics that we will be discussing. It will be on data analysis, AI, then blockchain, IoT, and digital marketing. Let us go through them one by one. What is data? Data is a collection of things. It could be anything. For example, the number of participants we have today in this meeting is data. The number of participants who have registered for this meeting is data. And the number of participants who choose to remain in this meeting is data. And the number of participants who choose to leave this meeting is data. It does not mean anything. These are just numbers. So what is data analysis? Data analysis is the method by which you derive information from this data. So you know that so many people have registered, so many have participated, and so many have remained throughout the talk, which tells you how efficiently I was able to communicate with you. So based on that, if the number of people dropped greatly as the talk progressed, that is an indicator to me, telling me that, look, you are not presenting the topic as the people want. And that is, see, you are all either commerce or economic students, or people who are trying to sell something to us. You all do that. Even if you are a scientist or a researcher or an academic person, you are trying to sell something. You are trying to communicate with people. And selling is communication. You may be giving in goods, you may be giving thoughts, or you may be sharing some knowledge that you have. So this is something important for us to take as a feedback. And the extraction of information from the data is all what data analysis means. So it is a creation of information from data, which are just numbers here. The starting number, the ending number, the time when people leave, all these are numbers. And that is what data analysis is all about. So basically, data analysis can be divided into two broad groups. One is called clustering method, and the other is called regression. Now, in regression method, what you do is that you have a set of parameters, like for example, the cost of petrol and the cost of items available in the market. So you have two axes here. The horizontal axis, maybe it is representing the cost of petrol. So I have an initial value, which may be the value when I started the observation. I take it as value 0, and I mark only the increases in prices. So here I start with 0. Then I go on looking at the price of petrol each day, and it is going up. And I find that the price of commodities are also going up. It may not be linear all the time. For example, in the beginning, for this commodity, you see that it is having a higher scatter than you expect. So it may vary from case to case, but let it be there. You can say that broadly there is a linear trend. Linear means you can put a line and say that this is the trend that is going from this end to this end. When the price on this horizontal axis, price of petrol is increasing, this is how the price of commodities increase. So that is called a linear regression. Regression just means you are trying to have the predicted values in a continuous way. As the price increases, continuously the price of the entities in the market is also increasing. So that is what we mean by a regression problem. And this is linear regression because you can put a straight line and represent it. What is the advantage of doing it? The advantage is that at some other time in future, when you have a particular value for the price of petrol, you can immediately say what the likely value for the commodity would be at that time. So this is the advantage. It makes predictability possible. So why we do this data analysis? We do it because we want to predict the future. And predicting is not always as easy as drawing a line. For example, if you're familiar with the stock market, there you have a lot of fluctuations every day, every minute. The prices of the stock goes up and down. And what you do there is something more stable than these fluctuations that you observe. We take the moving average. The moving average uses moving average uses regression also. What a moving average means, suppose I can have any window size for the averages. I can take two entities, add them together, divide by 2, and that is the average of the two. I can take 3 items, add them up, divide by 3, and that will give me the average of the 3. I can take the values of the stock prices for a shorter period of, say, a few days. Then I can add all those prices, divide by the number of days that I consider here. That will give me 1 point, which corresponds to the mean of the values over this period. Now that is, say, day 0 to day 21. Suppose I take a 21-day average. Day 0 to day 21, I take all the prices of a particular stock. I add them up, divide by 21. That is 1 point I get. Then what I do is I move this window by 1 day. Now I have values from first day to the 22nd day. Take the mean, put the second day. Take the mean, put the third point. Move 1 day, take the mean, put the third point, fourth point, fifth point, like that. So you get a continuous curve, but which is the average of the values over a 21-day period. Why this is important? This is important because your interest is in long time predictions and your interest is in investing and getting a return. You want to see what are the prices that remain stable, which are continuously increasing, so that you can invest money and get a profit when it goes up. So these moving averages are important. So you take the moving average, and usually people take two moving average at least. One is a short time moving average and the other is a long time moving average. As you can see in this image, there is a red curve and a blue curve. The red curve is with a period of 200 days and the blue curve is with a period of 21 days. And you are interested in knowing at what point the red curve is crossed by the blue curve. The point where the blue curve goes above the red curve, that is what you call a bullish market time, or the point that corresponds to it is called the golden cross. So the golden cross tells you the point of time in the market where the sales are very high, where you can think of getting some revenue out of the market. The opposite of it, where the blue line crosses and goes down the red line, is the bearish time. And that is when the market is going low in trade and you won't like to invest much at that time. Well, and that cross is called the cross of death or the death cross. No trade is happening. People usually take 50 days average and 200 days average and use this for making judgment on whether they should invest on a particular stock or not. So here also you are using regression. So regression can be in linear terms, that's what I'm trying to say. It can be in non-linear cases like this particular case, or could be in linear cases. Whether regression are on line or it's along averages that you are taking, in any case, regression, the objective is to make it predictable. It's a very powerful predictive tool. And if you're interested in investing in stock or you're looking for the trends in markets, these techniques will be of great help. And data analysis specifically deals with this in regression terms. Now, as I mentioned, there is also another tool which is called the clustering method. These are the basic tools. There are a lot of variants to this. Clustering is a method that allows you to group similar items. For example, assume that you are in the marketing field. You have a few products and you want to make the products easily, you want to find out to whom you should sell it so that it will be easily accepted by the person. If you come across a person like me, you know that it is a waste of time telling me about shaving creams and razor blades because I never do that. How do you know? You know because you have the data of people who use shaving creams and razor blades and they don't have beard like this. So you correlate my beard to the probability that a person with beard may search for shaving creams and find that it is almost zero. So you know that this is not the product I should sell to this fellow. Instead, you then remember that there is something that he may be interested in. He will introduce me to bear growth creams or things, products like that, which you believe that maybe people like me would like to purchase. But there is a problem here. In clustering, you know who are the people, what kind of people you have. There may be people with lot of hair and lot of beard who would be in the, suppose you have two axes here, as you can see, each of them represents a feature. For example, the horizontal axis that you have may represent the length of the beard that the person is having. For ladies, usually it will be 0. So you have a 0 there. And for men, maybe there are people who have both have long hair and long beard. So they will fall in the top right corner. There may be people who have beard on the head and also having long beard. They may be on the right side corner below. And there may be people who have long hair but no beard, and they will be on the left side top. And kids, most of the time, they will be having short hair and no beard. They will be on the right bottom corner, left bottom corner. So you have this distribution of people. This is called a distribution because that is where all these people cluster together. So distribution, it is not a point. It is a distribution because there is varying values. So each of these axes represents a varying values. You know where these people fall in the cluster or in the group. But there is a problem. You have no idea who will buy your products. That is where clustering comes to your aid. What you do is very simple. You check for records that you have in which people have brought different items. Each time an item is brought by a person, you give a color for that item. So here there are 3 colors, blue, red, and green. And you look at the people who brought each item. So the 3 colors represent the 3 items that you want to buy, you want to sell. And you look at your data and move your coin in such a way that each time a person in a group buy a particular item, you give that color to that group. And as you keep on doing it, finally you find that most of the people in one group are favoring purchase of one item rather than the other groups. And now you have colored all your groups and you know to whom you should sell which item. And this is exactly what clustering does. And in fact, if you go to Amazon or Flipkart, that's how they make recommendations to you based on the choice you made in the past. Very simple and efficient. Of course, as I said before, there are different regression and clustering algorithms available to us. But all of them implement the same concept in different ways. Whether you use artificial intelligence, whether you use machine learning, whether you use statistical methods, all of them falls into one of these categories, and that is why I just mentioned. But then we come across artificial intelligence and basically intelligence. What is intelligence? We all do data analysis all through our life. All decisions, every decision we make are made after evaluating the possibilities, if there is a choice. Sometimes we even do not realize the amount of data processing that goes behind in the background in our brain when we make a decision. And this is what we mean by intelligence. An intelligent person can quickly process data accurately and make solid decisions. And that's how they make profit in the market. In the stock market, for example, the right decision at the right time saves you money. Well, that's intelligence, agreed. What is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence, or AI, is the method by which you make machines take decisions for you. Of course, even when the machines make decisions, you will have the control on them. We'll have the option to accept or refuse these options, these proposals made by the machine. So it is more like a minister to a king. The minister thinks a lot, makes some suggestions to the king, and the king is a person who takes the decision. but the intelligence is of the minister who works in the back. So I want to address another point here. There is a growing fear among people that machines will overpower humans. In my opinion, that is very unlikely to happen. Unless the king is very stupid and allows it to happen, where the minister may take over after the king. We are intelligent enough that we have put a switch on the back of all these machines, which you can switch off. And that's it. You can switch off the machine and save the planet at any time. Well, let's leave that. So, what is artificial intelligence? Intelligence is the ability to make decisions based on experiences that we have already seen. I've been in the market field, I went to different people and I found that these are the groups of people who will buy my product. These are the groups that I need not waste my time. So you gather information, you make decisions based on the information that you have derived out of the data that you have. It could be personal experience or experience of somebody else. We train our brain on these experiences to make more decisions, wise decisions. These decisions are called our targets because that is what we want to attain. I want to become like person X or Y. So that is my target. And when I gain experience, what I collect is data. And it is this collection of data and the information that I derive from them that makes me intelligent. So I call this data, which I use for my training, internal training, my training data. So whenever you talk to machine learning or artificial intelligence people, they'll talk about the target vector, they'll talk about the training data, etc. It does not mean much. It's just a jargon that they use. Training data means whatever data that you have for training the machine. A target is what you want to achieve. So that is the meaning of it. Now, the learning we gain seeing a car accident enables us to be more cautious while driving. Thus, human intelligence also enables us to foresee and prepare for upcoming challenges. If we can mimic human intelligence, that is what we call artificial intelligence or AI. In that case, what is machine learning, you might ask? What is the difference between AI and machine learning? Well, artificial intelligence is the ability to think and reason like human beings. In fact, it is still a theoretical model. A hope we have that we will have artificial intelligence, where machines will think and act like humans. What we have in practice is machine learning. Machine learning is the science of teaching machines to learn from examples that we use for training them. It may do well in situations in which the training data that we use match with the particular condition in that environment. For example, in autopilots, in aeroplanes or cruise ships, or to self-driving cars, this is what we do. We train the machine repeatedly on the kind of situations it should face and then make it automatic. But there is a problem. Machines do not know how to reason or think. They have no empathy or feeling. People regrets and sympathizes with the accidents, but the car, the machine, never regrets nor sympathizes with anything. This is the greatest caution one should have in mind whenever they marvel the advantages of machine learning. These are stupid machines. They don't think, they don't have empathy, they don't have sympathy, and they don't reason. They won't say that, oh, this is a post that is on the road, I should move away from it. No. They are not trained to do it. Now, one way to work around this problem is to help machines or to use machines to train on a large volume of data, where it is presented with all the possible situations, including posts, including wolves, including people crossing the street, everything. And that is what is done in deep learning. Deep learning uses almost all possible situations for training. Since this requires huge samples of data for training, it is synonymous with the big data paradigm. But remember, still machines do not have the ability to sympathize. They may now be able to mimic various expressions that humans have in similar situations. Like, for example, if you look at this robot, Sophia, she is able to mimic humans in making expressions on her face. So there are situations in which when you say some sad story, it will keep its face in one fashion. When you say some joke, it will laugh. Or when it may mimic the way you sit and think, like that. But between us, I will tell you a secret. In reality, many human sympathy and empathy are also superficial. Think seriously. Humans also do not have this virtue of sympathy and empathy to a great extent. We are always confined to the near and dear. If COVID comes to my family, I am very much worried. If it is outside, I'll say, oh, sorry, very sad. But do we really sympathize with them? Do we really show empathy to them? This is something we need to ask. We need to find out ourselves. Most of the time, we pretend rather than repent. Okay, this is a different topic, and I just mentioned this because of for continuity for the rest of the talk, but we'll let it go. So, what is the next topic we want to discuss? See, this is a world where people cheat. You can't trust people. You can't blindly trust people. It's a world where people pretend what they do is totally different. Father Abraham Mulamotil always say that the Bible says, "Thou shalt not kill," because that is exactly what we always do. We kill people. We kill people with our deeds, our words, and our actions. Don't we? And that is the reason why we need the blockchain technology. Blockchain technology ensures three things. It ensures trust, accountability, and transparency. In a world where intelligent humans who claim to have empathy and sympathy, while all they do is pretension. In reality, they kill even when they preach that thou shalt not kill. They withdraw their promises and cheat if they get a chance. So when blockchain technology was invented, the basic criteria they introduced was immutability. So what is immutability? immutability is, it means something that cannot be changed. You cannot erase what you have written. What is written is written. You cannot erase it. You cannot change it. You say that I'll pay this much for a particular item, and you cannot withdraw from that because it is permanently written there. You cannot change. So that is the advantage. It is permanent. So since there is no option to reinterpret or change the wordings that you have used, it assures accountability even when you intend to cheat the other person. Well, what if it is a mistake? Well, if it is a mistake, you can create another block. Each of these entities that you create is called a block, and that's why it's called blockchain. You can create another block with the new ledger entry saying the new corrected value and add it to the chain. So it is like a chain. You have the first promise that you gave as one block, the second block with the new promise that you give, and it is there. And the important point is that this is also immutable. You cannot change it again. And also, both the old and the new ones will be simultaneously visible to everyone to whom this has been shared. So everybody knows your nature. You keep changing your words. So that is going to affect your business. So you don't want to change it. So that puts the constraint on you not to change your promises. And each of this entry is there for everyone, which means there is transparency in your transaction. You cannot say, oh, I didn't buy it for that much of money. I brought it for this much of money. No, it's all recorded there. Everybody sees. So everything is there. So you are bound to keep your promises. Now there is a problem. This is a world of hackers. You hear about computers being hacked, banks being hacked, money being stolen. What if these promises are stolen? Well, blockchain ensures that this is not happening by encrypting the ledgers that you create, each block that you create, and storing it in multiple places. As you see in this picture, it is stored in multiple places, in fragments, not as whole text. So even if one machine is hacked and completely destroyed, you still have copies of the same elsewhere. And this is how all the cloud systems work. If you are installing your machine or your system on the cloud, there is very little chance that you may lose data because there are multiple copies. And your data is not on a single machine as it used to be in the case where you were working on laptops or home computers. Now you do everything on the cloud because that is safe. Your websites are not hacked. Okay, so that is the technology which Bitcoin uses. And it is stored in multiple places. So if one machine is hacked and the data is lost, it can be replaced from other places and your system would be intact. Now, this immutability is not a new concept. It has been in use even before the BitChain technology came to use them. I am sure that most of you are familiar with Google Documents. If you go to the File menu, there is an option called Version History. And clicking on that option will display a list of older versions of the document that you have edited with the details in the past. So everything that you put on the Google document, even if you edit it 100 times, are documented there and every version is available. And it is available to everyone to whom you have shared that document. So everybody knows what you have done, which ensures transparency. And if you have changed something, you are accountable for that because people know who has changed it. If you understand this, you have understood what blockchain technology is. blockchain technology was in fact created for cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, for example. We'll not go into the details, but we'll state that it is a currency that is secure, confidential, and is not controlled by any central agency or authority like the World Bank, for example. So this is the advantage of Bitcoin and the blockchain technology. Blockchain can be used for many other applications also. For example, suppose I am a patient and I want my privacy to be maintained and I want to communicate with a doctor for a particular consultation. I can share my data with the doctor directly, and the doctor has a responsibility to keep it private. Because if we share it to somebody, that will immediately be notified to me, and the doctor will be out of his profession because he is not trustworthy. So worthiness, trustworthiness, credibility, credibility, that is the term we should use. Credibility is what decides the future market. And this is one very important point one has to keep in mind. I'll keep on repeatedly saying credibility is one of the basic requirements for you to succeed in the market or you to succeed in any of the future aspects or prospects career you are looking for. Okay. Now, privacy is assured by blockchain. Transparency is also assured by blockchain. But there is some problem here. Seriously, privacy and transparency are mutually exclusive. Because transparency means everybody should be knowing, and privacy means it should be very private. How can it be possible? If I'm exchanging a confidential message with someone, the receiver gets the message, but there is no way he can verify it. How will he decide whether I am authentic? How will he decide whether he can take me for confidence? He can't tell anyone because the confidentiality of the document requires that it is not made transparent to it. Okay, he can only pray to God, isn't it? Yes, that's exactly what he is going to do. Assume that there is an agent who knows everything about everyone, like God, and is able to tell whether a particular person is trustworthy or not. That's all it should say. So this person is trustworthy, you can take it. This person is not so good. He has cheated so many people. So that is all I want to know. Even when you pray, that is what you want to know from God. But unlike the gods we are familiar with, this God will answer you right away, yes or no. Your answers are very fast. That you need, because otherwise you will lose money by the time God answers. And you will lose the business. So the question is, can we create such a God? Yes, we have already created. That's exactly what the Internet of Things does, IoT. All of us now are dependent on Internet for our communication, thanks to what has happened from the pandemic. Our mobile phones can do bank transactions, e-booking, e-marketing, video and audio communications, messages, conference calls, whatnot. And it has maps built in that regularly updates your position to the cloud, to the server. So Google, even if you switch off your mobile, the GPS is working and it keeps on recording it. Even if you are not connected to the internet, it waits till you get connected. And as soon as you connect, it immediately sends all your location information, where you have gone, what you have done, to whom you have talked. Even if your location map is switched off, even if your phone is switched off, of course, if you power off the phone, then it won't be able to. Otherwise, if your power is on, it will record all this. And as soon as you connect, it will send this information to Google. And how do they do it? The technology is called Internet of Things, or IoT. It refers to the secret agents that are in your mobile phones, the sensors, that will record everything that you do, including your GPS positions or your voice. See, if you say, okay, Google, then the Google will respond back to you with a message. What can I do for you? So it is listening to your conversation. It is able to understand your conversation, your temperament, your debit, your credit, every detail about you, your credibility, and in short, everything. On the server side, it is all recorded on multiple servers, just like in the case of blockchain, and are indexed for easy access whenever it is required. And Google, for example, is one such god. They know everything about you, even if you do not wish to share it with Google. If you use an Android mobile phone, they have it. They already have it. For example, a few days back, I got a message from Google saying that they have introduced Google Chat, a new feature. And all my past chats are now available online through my Google account. So I just went to take a look at it. And when I looked, I found that the account had chats I made even in 2015. I forgot all about that. But Google has every detail of the chat that I have. Such an agent that goes without fail on every aspect of a person can authenticate my credibility to a person on the other side, and in turn do the same thing about that person to me. So we have created already such a God who is able to answer our questions immediately, and that is what IoT, or the Internet of Things, does. Well, so we have come to the final point and the most important topic for today's discussion, which is digital marketing. Thanks to the pandemic situation introduced by SARS-CoV-2 virus, all markets and meetings have gone digital. But as it is rightly said, every situation is also an opportunity. All we need to do is to change our perspective. Since I understand that most of the students who are attending this meeting are from commerce and economics background, undergraduate students, I want to tell you that this is the right opportunity to build your career. Well, in some ways, this digital marketing is not different from the traditional marketing. Look at this cartoon. Here a person is a very clever person to sell something. So you have a product you want to sell. He is highlighting the weaknesses as his advantages, right? But he is able to impress his customers and close the sale. But when you go to digital marketing, there is a catch. While traditional marketing allows you to use your smartness in presentation and make the sale possible, it is not that easy with the digital world. Why? Because first of all, your customers are also educated. They know how to browse the net. They look for reviews about you, your brand values. If you go to Amazon or Flipkart, you see customer reviews there. And if a customer says, oh, he is hopeless, this product should not be bought, I bought this, this has happened, nobody will buy that. So your beautiful smiling face won't help in selling the product. Credibility is what takes you to the market. So that is A very important point I am emphasizing over and over because that is what you need to focus on. Now, in digital marketing, there are usually 5 categories known as the 5 Ds. They are the digital platform, digital media, digital data, digital devices, and digital technology. It is estimated that about 60% or more of the world population do internet marketing. And that is enough to say about the potential of the market. Why so many people go for it? Because it is more reliable, more reliable, and it is less likely that you get cheated. You have reviews from people. Everything is online. So you know which product is good and what reliability they have, whether the product will be delivered to you, all this. Well, let us look at each of them in detail. Digital platforms include social media like Facebook, Instagram, search engines like Google, Yahoo, etc., where you can put your advertisements to catch public attention. So that is one option you have, where you can, in fact, sell your products through digital platforms. And digital media, on the other hand, refers to communication channels such as by sending email to people, SMS to people, or writing articles in social media or in digital media that are available in magazines, digital magazines that are available. So that is a one-to-one communication. The remaining 3 are more technologically oriented. If you are interested in technology, these are the things you should look for. Digital data includes collection of information, as we seen earlier, from potential buyers. So you look for who are the likely buyers for the product, their interests, their buying patterns, for example, how often they come and buy. And then help companies to develop strategies to optimize production and warehouse management. For example, Kerala is said to be a very consumable market, having a consumer market. Why? Because the people in Kerala are more in the habit of buying new things. So warehouses should be close to Kerala or should have things available, facilities available to transfer whatever they demand with sufficient speed. So this can be done. Now coming to digital devices, this could be hardware devices like medical equipment, oximeters, as well as development of mobile applications. You see a lot of mobile applications. For everything you have a mobile application today. TV advertisements, that also come under this criteria. Then digital technologies like machine learning tools, statistical analysis, or data analytical tools for optimizing user resources and sales strategies like solving the traveling salesperson's problem. I do not know whether you know that. What it does is, suppose you have a product and you have a warehouse where it is available. You are a salesman, and you have to distribute it to different people. That is what exactly these online platforms do. If you make a booking to Amazon, or if you purchase something from Flipkart, a salesperson distributes it locally, and the traveling salesperson wants to make his trip the most economic way it is possible. And that means he has to find the path which will cover all these places in minimum time and with minimum fuel consumption. So this is an optimization problem, and operation research is a branch of mathematics that fully deals with this kind of. So if you are technology oriented, if you have liking for technology, these are the options that you get. Now, from a practical perspective, the most important thing about digital marketing is that it is often web-centric. You have to publish it on your web, which means that Your customers are web literate and they need to look at the web and make the decision. In traditional marketing, you don't need to keep many things, many options for it. But here in digital world, because your customer has the option to go to another place and check for another option, it is customary that you put all the possible things in one platform. The customer has sufficient time to look for all those things, but you should make your web page catchy enough so that customers would find what they look for in the first page of the screen itself. Understandably, Amazon or Flipkart, if you look at their web page, this is what they do, as you see here. They put a lot of options. They say a lot of offers also for those purchases and put it on the front page of the website. So there are two specific areas in which you can focus if you are thinking of becoming a doing digital marketing on the website. You can do a paid web marketing service called the search engine marketing or SEM, where you create paid advertisements that appear on web pages and YouTube channels. Alternately, you can be a freelancer specialized in search engine optimization, where you optimize the search engines to target your product. And you tell the particular, you monitor the sales that are happening for a particular item, and you go to the particular person and say, these are the kinds of improvements you can make. It could be unpaid or paid, and promote their business. And doing business with all the information you gather is the basic idea in STEM marketing. So these are the possibilities that are available. I haven't covered all those things, but I have just tried to give you a broad idea. And of course, during question and answer session, and also later also, you can contact and we can discuss these matters in detail. The final remarks I want to make is that irrespective of the strategies you adopt for selling your products, a few things should not be forgotten. In the market, the most important person that you come across is your customer. So the goodwill and the happiness of your customer will take you a long way to success. So be always cautious about the quality of service you give, the quality of product that you offer. You should be trustworthy and should be impartial. I use the word impartial. You should be trustworthy means you are impartial in guiding your customers to get the best options they look for, not what you offer. Specifically in digital marketing, your customer feedback and reviews count a lot. A good word travels a lot. So work hard to do with dedication. Success will be all yours. Thank you. And it's question time. And you can ask. You're free to ask me all clarifications or topics we discussed. I would also encourage you to visit the ARIS 4D website that will tell you more about our activities. You can also write to me by email in the official email. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dainan Sajid Philip sir. So due to a shortage of time, if you have any quick questions, we can ask. So if any of the participants want to ask some questions, this is the time for the questions. We will give one or two questions and we will wind up the session. If you have any quick question, please ask immediately so that we can expect response from an answer. And there is one question in the chat box which is asking about what are the teaching options in future skills. If you can answer that.
Teaching options in future skills.
The question was not
Difficult.
very specific. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very difficult to answer that question. But rather than trying to focus on the teaching skills in, I did not get the question correctly. I think I did not get the question correctly. But if you are asking me what are the things that should be focused in teaching condition, is that what you are trying to ask?
That one Eldoke Babu has asked the question, sir, what is the scope of teaching?
What he is asking is that he is a teacher or he is going to be a teacher soon, or how. So that is why probably I think it is a study. He can anyway. He can explain to these three things. That is the subjects or person or what is the students should see.
Yeah, it's very difficult to say what are the future skills that you need. It will depend upon the student that comes to you. For example, every skill matters in that sense. If you are technologically oriented, the skills you need would be in machine learning, artificial intelligence, things like that. If you are market, if you want to introduce students to the market, then that is the kind of skills that you need to focus. But one common thing that I would say would be required is hard work. Number one, students should have the habit of doing hard work. Second, they should be trustworthy, meaning that they should have good credibility about what they do and how they do it. I think these are the things that should be focused. Futuristic marketing skills do not come automatically, and there is no fixed pattern for that. That's my feeling. Even every person is unique, and every person may require a different kind of skill development for their particular. That's my feeling about the question.
I think if he is a teacher, then what are the skills he has to develop for himself? If you want to be a teacher, I think if it is like that, something different. That means
Yes. Anyhow, the person who asked the question is not in our group, I think. So I think we can explain any other question. If you have any other questions, we can take the questions. Otherwise, we'll move to the concluding remarks by your chairman. So I think let's wind up. So I invite Advocate Arun Paul, who is the chairman of the AVE STELLA MARIS College, to have a concluding remarks. So anyhow, I thank you, Dr. Nainan Sajid Phillips, sir, for his valuable time, Dr. Abraham Mulamutl as well. So Advocate Arun Paul will give the concluding remarks. Welcome, Dr. Advocate Arun Paul.
Respected Reverend Dr. Abraham Mulamutl, our principal advisor. Respected resource person, Dr. Nainan Sajid, and our principal, Dr. Paul V. Matthew. It is indeed a great pleasure and a privilege to host Dr. Nainan Sajid in our career guidance series. I'm so grateful that you have agreed to come and share your thoughts on this platform for the benefit of future leaders. All these jargons we get to see in everyday life now, like blockchain technology, IoT, machine learning, and many times this go above our head. We really struggle to understand the basic concept of it and how it is applied in our day-to-day life. Although it is very much present, we fail to recognize these technology, what's happening around us. So in this session, I'm really glad that you could touch upon it, at least on the peripheral side, because getting deeper into that might not be very easy for many to understand and realize what exactly it is. Sometimes people might lose interest. Even I can even see many people have left. Probably they have taken your initial remark very seriously, that those who want to leave, if you don't understand, they can leave. Probably that's fine, because we need to have a group of audience who understands the relevance and then who enjoys this topic. So it is very, very interesting, and I really appreciate Dr. Paul and to bring this session into a life. Thank you so much, sir. Probably, I hope we will be continuing our collaboration with your team and with your good self. So we will meet in person sometime once the pandemic situation gets over, and then because we do come to Tiruvalla very often to meet our Achan. So once we will catch up with you there as well. Thank you all the participants for being here. And then this is the third episode of the Career Guidance series organized by AVE STELLA MARIS College. The objective of this series is, as Paul has put it rightly, is to enrich or to enlighten the future available resources and the career options to the students who are looking at in different directions. So we will have another couple of sessions scheduled from next week. So this is somehow it is happening on every Friday. So next Friday also we will be having one. So please keep tuned to the Career Guidance website and on the WhatsApp group and our college website also. Thanks once again for everyone. Good luck, and we will catch up soon. Over to you, Paul. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Advocate Arun Paul, Dr. Nainan Sajid Philip, Dr. Abraham Olamutla, and all the participants. Please register and be in the group so that you will get all the updates. Thank you once again, and have a nice day. Thank you very much.